I'm going to talk about spiritual dryness. What causes spiritual dryness? I did a video on this. One of the videos that was taken down that shouldn't have been taken down. But I'm going to redo the video. The video is called spiritual dryness and what causes spiritual dryness. Okay. What causes spiritual dryness? Um, it's the relationship, physically, position, or direction of something like a child surrounding, providing clues to help them. Okay. So I'm going to read that again though. But these are some of the signs of spiritual dryness. Okay. Um, and um, one of the things of spiritual dryness is a loss of relationship with the divine in yourself. Okay, the divine in yourself. He's within you and he surrounds you. Okay, loss of orientation. Okay, loss of orientation. So we're gonna Google up what's loss of orientation, because I think I need to be more specific on this. Okay. Loss of orientation, process focus on coping with bereavement, the loss itself, recognizing it and accepting it. In this process, a person will express feelings of grief with all they lost that occurred from losing their loved ones. There will be many changes, okay, with your family and your friendship, okay? So that is the that meant a lot to you. Grieving my father's death. And I said, why is there for me? Asking for all kind of stuff. Like asking for money, but they okay. They still was trying to take from me. And I said, Mom, why is this? And I seen I seen people so clear. I had my mother, yes. And she called it whatever tuning it. So I'm gonna Google that. So she said I had a whole bunch of these people around me, and she was right. So I'm gonna do the definition of this and go back to spiritual dryness. So when my father died, they were called opportunists. Okay, so what she meant by that was we may seem to increase the opportunity. Okay, a set of circumstances that make it possible to do something. So they knew my father died, right? So they were just trying to they knew I was good hearted, good nature. So they were just trying to use that opportunity to get what they want out of me. That's very sad. And that's when I really seen people for who they really were. I seen them for who they were before, but I really seen them for who they were. Okay? And to this day I don't speak to some one person that was very close to my family. And a lot of the friends I don't speak to. Because the only person that was there for me when my father died were my kids and my mother. Okay? They were the only people that were there. None of my family. Yeah. She called them opportunists. Yeah. And so I had to even Google it that day to see what she meant. But let's go on. So, spiritual dryness, we talked about the loss of orientation, the loss, okay, also with spiritual dryness, you'll have a loss of depth. The loss of depth. DEPHT. Okay. The loss of depth or perspection. The loss of depth is reduced when there's a loss of visual contrast. Together are required for good depth perception. So even if you have one good eye, depth perception is decreased. Some of you guys will not get this. This typically happens normal in childhood, okay? This occurs when the optic nerve, which sends visual signs from your eyes to your brain, has incompletely developed before birth. Okay? But also the loss of depth is the loss of who you are. Okay? The loss of who you are, who you really are. When I see the loss of depth, get who you are. Because you have so much other stuff going on around you, that you're so lost in the depth of it. Your job, your family, your friends, your children. You don't remember who you are. That's the loss of depth. Okay? Difficulties with religion, community. Okay? Not just difficulties, religion, and community. Difficulties with family, friends. But remember, spiritually, becoming spiritual, these are the things that can cause it. After that, these things, okay, these are the things that can cause spiritual dryness. The spirituality, like I told you, it starts within you. So when these things happen to you, some people become spiritually dry. They don't feel nothing. Okay? Um, I felt, I didn't feel nothing. Felt numb. But I felt everybody's presence around me. But then I had to get back to my spiritual side. Okay? I had to come back and get, this is where dryness, when you lose somebody, okay, that you loved. Okay, let me finish with this. So I'm gonna read this again. The relative physical position or direction of something like a child surrounded provides clues to help them. You don't have them clues to help you. That's why you have to always keep your faith. Okay? Whatever faith you believe in, that's on you. But just keep your faith and stay centered and grounded. Okay? Let nobody take you from a sense of here, mentally confused. Okay? It's not just people. It could be, I don't want to be Debbie the Downer. Okay? But this is happening a lot. This disorientation, and the reason why the condition of having lost oneself of mental confusion. Like when you feel depressed, anxiety, because everybody in life has some kind of depression. Everybody in life has some kind of anxiety. Okay, everybody. But what causes that mental confusion? It could be a lot of things that cause that mental confusion. It could be distraction. It could be loss of of yourself, loss of who you are, not knowing which way to go. Mental confusion can be a lot of things. And some people try to put you in mental confusion. You always have that one person in your family that's always called is the black sheep, but the black sheep's always speaking the truth. And you always think that black sheep is in mental confusion, but that black sheep is not the one that's normally in mental confusion. It's you that's in mental confusion, not that black sheep, because they're speaking their truth, but you're scared to speak yours, or you're scared to even live in your truth because you're scared somebody might judge you if you make a mistake or if you fail. But who are these people to judge? I don't care who judges me in life. Only one person, and that's the divine source. Nobody else. My mother can judge me, my father can judge me, my sister, my brother, my kids, my friends, my family. And some people will make you a mental confusion because they're confused themselves. So they want you to be confused. They want you to be in that I have a friend, an old friend. I don't. I, we started talking, but I keep my distance. Sometimes I call her. I say, "How are you doing?" She reached out to my daughter one time. She says, "I just being a good friend." She was in a lot of mental confusion, and you can't talk to somebody that's in mental confusion because I've been there. There's there's no rationality with mental confusion because there's so much in mental confusion they don't know which way to go. So they put you, and when you're around them, you feel heaviness all the time. That's not good. I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel calm, at peace. So let's Google mental confusion. But the main topic here is called spiritual dryness. Your relationship with the divine source or self, because the divine source is within you, around you, above you. Okay, remember that, because spiritual dryness is real. Okay, let's look up mental confusion. And you know what's crazy? I notice when I'm around somebody that has mental confusion, um, I feel drained. Not just drained, I feel a heaviness when they're around me, and I don't like that feeling. I don't. So that one day I told my friend, I said, she was showing me families, pictures of her family, and she was asking me to do a read. And I said, I see a lot of family trauma, but she was breaking that family trauma. But I can feel the heaviness that she still carries on her from the trauma of her family that she carries, and her daughter and my daughter are friends. And her daughter is carrying that trauma too. I'm not saying my life's perfect by any means, but I'm not carrying around that mental confusion because my mind is clear. It's clear. I know which direction I want to go, and I know which direction I need to go. And when I was around her, my stomach would hurt. Yeah, my stomach would hurt. Then when I wasn't around her, it was so overwhelming. The curse, because her mother was dabbling in witchcraft, and her mother knew nothing about witchcraft. And she was a child, and they were just letting all kinds of things in her mom's house. Her mom didn't know nothing, and I knew that not even meeting her mother. God rest her mother's soul. But I knew that by just her speaking and seeing pictures, she didn't know what she was doing. So she was letting things in, and her kids was there. So they were attaching themselves to her children. And there's so much trauma, death in her family. But she's breaking that cycle. But she still had that mental confusion. And I told her, you need to see a psychiatrist. Because every day you're talking to me about this. That is draining my energy. And by even me looking at those pictures, it was taking all my energy away. And I was like, we have to talk about this another day. And I had to take a break, and I had to explain to her why as a friend. It's just too much. I feel like I can't breathe when I'm around you. That's not good. You got things you need to deal with. When my dad died, for the longest, I was like, because we were raised not to see psychiatrists and stuff like that. We were raised to pray about stuff and move on. But then I said, no, I got to heal the right way. Not just for me, but for my children. Because I was going through the grieving. Grieving is no joke. Okay? So, mental confusion. And sometimes I get mental confusion of which direction I need to go. But I know which direction now I need to go. Okay? Definition of mental confusion. Information load. Yeah, I was getting information like overload. And that was called mental confusion for me. It was too much. Intoxication or exposure to new situations. A mental state characterized by the lack of clear, orderly, but spiritual dryness. You gotta be careful with spiritual dryness, because spiritual dryness can take you to a very dry place. Okay, and so can disorientation. But the thing about spiritual dryness too, it says the relative physical position or direction of something like a child surrounded provides clues to help them. And I have a line going up. But sometimes the first thing is grounded and centered. Okay. All right, you guys, enough on spiritual dryness and disorientation. It happens to all of us. Okay. Um, okay, the next video. All right, you guys, because that is, I'm not going to go into that. There's a difference between spirituality and religion. So I'm going